much for the great chat we had before this on the focus on employee well-being. And of course, one of the key things that most employees look for when they join an organization is the focus and the commitment towards their learning. So here, Angelina and myself, we want to discuss a little bit more about what is the importance and the focus of career investments and learning and development for encouraging workforce transformation. So thank you so much for having us. I wanted to start off a little bit talking about the current situation, and I'm sure from the morning you've heard enough speakers talk about how the talent disruption has impacted the market, and we are in a world where there is an absolute need to look at how do we invest in our employees, because pay and job security are very hygiene, and most organizations need to make sure that the employees that they have today, how do they retain them, how do they ensure that they get the right kind of career directions and opportunities. In fact, the whole idea of workforce transformation is no longer a talent agenda or an HR agenda, right? It has become a business agenda. So I wanted to have Angelina over here share a little bit more about her experience as the Deputy Group CHRO of Comfort Delgro. And we are lucky to have her, and she will probably give us some great ideas about how the talent transformation within the organization has been enabled at Comfort Delgro. Angelina?
Thanks, Ishita. Hi, everyone. Perhaps before I start, right, just to ask all of you, how many of you are with businesses that have been going either through transformation now or in the past, your businesses have been disrupted? Quite a good number of you. So I think this is really a topic when we talk about workforce transformation. What we are seeing is actually the business is getting disrupted. And for Comfort Delgro, I think everyone is also familiar with our businesses. And we are not only in the taxi space, we have tech talents who developed the Zig app for us. We are also in the advertising and media space, as well as very hardcore, bus drivers, as well as technicians. So I would say that given that we have a very wide spread of workforce, and when the businesses start to get disruption, that is where the workforce transformation became so important for the organization. And part of the transformation at the beginning, right, what happens is that we actually brought in a group of people and we set up a transformation office. And how it works is that we brought in people from the outside, and they are from different fields. And how it works is that in order to have, to break the cycle of doing the same thing day in, day out, and because once you get into that mode, it's very difficult for us to see where we really needed to transform. Because everyone will tell you that, oh, we have been doing this, for the longest time and it's worked, why do we need to change? So therefore, having the mix of people from the outside coming in a fresh perspective, that was important and critical. So we had a transformation office, and eventually we kind of brought the people in, did the transformation work, and then sent them into the different departments to assimilate into the business. So I think that is how it all got started, obviously from the business itself, and then it cascaded into the people space. A few things when we look at why is there a need for workforce transformation. Number one, we wanted to build an agile workforce, and how do we actually equip them to help us grow sustainable business. In order for the business to continue to be sustainable, we need them to acquire new skills to help us. And the third one, I think critically, is that we are trying to build new businesses and new revenue stream. So with that, we also need the employees to have a new skills. And the underlying, I would say, theme, right, of all this is essentially digitalization and automation. And that are the key things that we were looking at. Just to add on the digitalization piece, right? What happens is that all our new employees have to go through a set of core learning programs. And it is not about, just the tech people taking the lead in the tech space, helping us with the tech work, but essentially equipping everybody with the basic analytics skills. That is one. End user computing knowledge, the second one. Cyber security, the third one. And last but not least, we also wanted to equip all our executives and above with data analytics skills. So these are the 4 training that no matter which function you're in, these are the 4 that you really need to go through. And we believe in equipping everybody with that digital skills.
Thanks so much, Angelina. I think what stood out to me from the story that you've just shared is you did not choose to invest in only the tech talent in the organization. It was a workforce transformation agenda, and you decided to build what you said, an agile mindset. So the focus was across the board for the entire employee base. So everybody gets an opportunity to demonstrate agile mindset and build their skills around it. The second thing that I think stood out in what you shared is the entire opportunity for everybody to upskill themselves in a data-driven way of decision making because of the information and the LMS support that you have provided them. They were able to start upskilling themselves. So that's a big deal. I mean, for employees to know that the organization really wants them to upskill. I can give you an example of this organization that is more US based, and there was a time when they realized that they are going to lose their entire workforce of 800 people. They were almost ready to let go of 800 people, and in a recession market, that's a terrible vibe to get. What they did is something similar to what Angelina highlighted over here. They decided to invest in the core talent of the organization. So instead of letting 800 people go, they actually reskill these people into a new set of waterfall to agile skill sets. And once they were reskilled, they were deployable in the new integrated environment. So it's great to see organizations like these and Angelina's take up the responsibility to reskill the employees. It's not only about getting new talent from the market. Of course, the price for that is also quite high in today's times. So, Angelina, I'm more interested to understand what is it about the development opportunity. So how did you provide this entire development opportunity to a large workforce that you have? You deploy drivers, you deploy a lot of white-collar workforce. How did you go about that?
Okay, so I shared earlier on the 4 core learning program that all new hires have to go through as part of their induction. But besides that, we also have team-based learning. So when we talk about team-based learning, we are trying to look at what are the business outcomes that we're trying to achieve. ComfortDelGro is very big on sustainability. So we look at, how are we going to create more green jobs, create more people to learn green skills? How do you actually operate from, petrol powered vehicles to electric vehicles? All these require new skills. So this team-based learning actually comes from the business. And we look at the business outcome that we want to achieve, and then we decide and say that, okay, there is this requirement to move this piece on sustainability. How are we going to, put in new learning programs to support them to move to their new jobs, which are the green jobs. So I think it's stuff like this. Secondly, we also look at other team-based learning. For example, safety is also very high on our agenda. When we did our employee engagement survey, the theme that came out very strongly is that people feel that this is a safe place to work when we are quite happy about it, but we still want to keep on double down on the areas that we are doing well. So on the areas of safety, we are also looking at programs, especially, safety these days. We do not look at only the physical safety, but we are also looking at, mental wellness as part of, creating a safe space, psychological safety as what, the earlier speakers have talked about. I think all these are very, very key.
Thank you so much, Angelina. I think what I'm getting from this entire focus on psychological safety and the shift that is happening, what I'm also hearing you say is that the employees got an opportunity to see how they can reskill themselves. They were given that opportunity to grow themselves, upskill themselves. So that means that the managers have given them that psychological safety like you spoke about and allowed them to reskill themselves and move up. What also comes out is the transparency of the availability of training opportunities that the employees get, because they are able to see that, hey, the organization has these options for me to choose from, and this is how I can reskill myself and make sure that I'm more employable in the overall market as well. I think that's a great culture building tool as well for an organization, because it means that the organization cares about the longevity of their employees, because as we know, longevity is enhanced by giving opportunities to learn new things to everyone. So that is absolutely something that is interesting. I wanted to understand a little bit more, Angelina, about the ways in which people embraced learning. How did they get to know that, I can opt for these learning opportunities, and how my career can grow against that?
For the high potentials, we have leadership milestone programs that, we approach them and we give them a few options. We say that, okay, these are the 4 options that are available. Which one would you like to go? And we are very open to the extent that there was once, I remember I approached this hypo and asked, okay, here are the 4 options, which one? And I was expecting the hypo to tell me, one of the options. But the hypo came back and said that, none looks interesting. Can you give me something that will, really help me? And I know all about leadership. I do not need any more leadership training, but I want to learn about M&A. So that was how one hypo came back, and we didn't say no. Basically, we took it back and said that, okay, why not you tell me then what are the learning programs that will interest you, but work within this budget. So we offer that kind of flexibility, and obviously he came back with his option and put it up, and we got it approved. So we offer flexibility to the employees to choose what. Sometimes we think that we know better than them, but nothing beats hearing from the employee, themselves about what they think will really help them. So I think having that open mind as HR professionals is important. And secondly, I think in terms of e-learning, we have the modules there. It's free, own time, own target, just to, go and reach out and see what the programs that you want to learn. We also sponsor people on 6 months long-term program. So these learnings are basically, taking real business case, putting them back into classroom context, and letting them acquire new skills as a result of putting them into the classroom. And when they come out from the classroom, the business case get back into the business, and we want to see the change before and after. So I think these are learning opportunities that are given to the employees. Last but not least, I think we also encourage open enrollment. Take, for example, our IT folks, I think they are the techie ones, you know, and already equipped with the IT skills. And they come to us and say that, oh, we want to do project management because we have a lot of IT projects. So can we go for, you know, sponsorship on all this? And we say yes. So I guess it's pretty much of, we used to do a lot of total company training plan. Those of you who are probably my age group will know about this. Okay. And you know, we used to also do individual learning plans. So what we are seeing today is that this planning, right, sometimes take too long a time, and you know, too many rounds of discussion to even, you know, derive and firm up the training plan. So we are taking a more agile approach to shortcut the process and just say that, okay, look, let's have an open conversation. These are some of the core learning programs, team-based learning, and the third one is that, you know, you tell us, you know, what you would like to learn, and we are happy to take all these sponsorships out. So I guess it's moving things in a more agile manner, faster, instead of spending too much time on the planning. Now we are spending more time in the execution.
My name is Elson, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Absolutely. I think, Angelina, what really stayed with me from there is this agile learning approach, and that enables career growth for individuals. So imagine that I'm starting off my day, I'm going to a place where I get to choose what I learn, and basis that, my career grows alongside. So that's a great feeling to have. In fact, I can think of an organization here in Singapore where they allow their management trainees to intern out in other competition organizations as well, because they want their management trainees to also experience what is it like working between a Coca-Cola versus a PepsiCo. So that's the level of trust organizations are having in their employees. I wanted to kind of summarize our entire discussion today, and thank you so much, Angelina, for sharing your story here. By saying that sky's the limit, and in terms of giving opportunities to people, we should not appear miser in any way. In fact, there are organizations globally who are giving opportunities for growth and opportunities as jobs to people who are not even employed in the organization. If you search up on the Future Job Finder by Vodafone, you will see that the Vodafone organization is actually asking the next generation to sign up and assess their digital capabilities, and basis that, they are also telling these new fresh talent what is the best way forward for them to take up their career growth. What we need to remember about the new generation is they are in that stage where they want to experience, where they want to explore new things. And if we don't provide that to them, then they feel that they get limited. So organizations like Comfort, organizations like Vodafone, they are going out there and providing a platform to the entire new generation to try out new skills and get the democracy or the power to choose what they want to do, what is the new training they want to take, what is the new job they want to do. So with that, I'm going to wrap up our discussion today. Thank you so much, Angelina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.